have inside information, in fact. It was lemonade. Lewis Hamilton began his Formula One career in 2007, of course, at McLaren, and in his first season finished runner-up in the championship. Just a year later, he won his first Formula One title in dramatic style, taking it by just 1 point. He spent 5 years at McLaren before making the switch to Mercedes in 2013. On Sunday, he became just the 4th British driver to win multiple F1 titles in a race that was dubbed the Duel in the Desert. This was the season where teammates went head-to-head. Hamilton against Nico Rosberg. The two Mercedes drivers dominated 2014, and in Abu Dhabi, one of them would take the title. A Rosberg win and Hamilton finishing 3rd or worse would have given the German his maiden championship. Race day was all about the Brit, though. He overtook Rosberg at the start line, who had qualified fastest. Only one man was soon in contention.
Losing engine power. Yep, copy Nico, we can see it.
The controversial decision to award double points in this final race didn't affect the outcome. Family, friends, a prince and his pop star girlfriend celebrated as Hamilton pushed on for his 11th Grand Prix win of the season.
World champion! Oh my God! I can't believe it!
A second taste of the championship, this was the greatest day in Lewis's life so far. Lewis Hamilton, world champion, joins us now. And Lewis, there's something we all want to say.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Superb job, well done.
How are you feeling now?
I feel amazing. Apart from it's a bit early, but otherwise I feel great. I flew back yesterday, and yeah, I'm on top of the world.
Yeah, it must have been in a bit of a daze really since then.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, you know, it's been a long year. It's been a long time coming. It's been 6 years to try and get this championship. So, yeah, at the moment, just enjoying it. You know, enjoying the ride.
I wonder, lots of questions from people writing. Was it from the start when you got to that first bed ahead of Nico Rosberg, or was it later on in the race?
It was literally the last 2 corners.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the last lap, I remember starting the last lap, and, you know, obviously I heard about the issue that happened on the other car, and you never know when it's going to happen, and it could just catch you, you know, by surprise. So I was pushing in that last lap. I could see people in the grandstands starting to stand up, and I was like, just keep it together, keep it together. And it came around the last 2 corners, and that's when I really realized, wow, you know, it's really, we've made it. You know?
Lewis, I want you to watch this with us, because you haven't watched this yet, have you?
I haven't. I haven't seen any of it. No.
You haven't seen this moment.
You know,
What's it like to watch now?
I mean, I remember that, you know, running into, I saw my family as soon as I came in, and, you know, that, I mean, so blessed to have them all there, and the support from my team. I mean, what an amazing experience it's been being in this team. You know, I remember when I chose to come to this team.
Do you always kiss people with your helmet on?
No, only Nicole. But as I said, you know, this team, what they've done is just incredible. So I feel really proud to be a part of it all.
Take us a little bit through the day, because I understand that your family, they were coming, but you didn't know that they were going to be there that day.
I didn't, no. Basically, you know, all year long, over the years, they've come to plenty of races, and this season I was like, this is the one chance I have. You know, they've got the best car. I want to make sure I'm just focused. And, you know, obviously when you have people there, sometimes when you're working, you're thinking, I've got these people waiting, I've got family waiting for me, I want to get to them. So I was like, let me just keep my head down. And I woke up, I didn't really sleep very long on Saturday night. It was the worst night's sleep ever. I couldn't get out of my mind of all the different scenarios that could happen. And I got up, went for a run, which I'd never done on a Sunday before a race. And there was a long wait till the race. This was only 6 a.m. Had a massage, had breakfast, and the family surprised me then. And then I went to the track, and really surprised, and I had a really good feeling.
You said you thought to yourself, this is my best chance of getting a second title. That sort of implies that you're not so optimistic about getting a 3rd title.
Oh, no. It's just in the moment, you know, every year you hope and pray that you have a great car, but not every year you get that. And, you know, this is the first year, as I said, in 6 years that I've had a car to win the championship. And I know that every race I just had to be 100%. I couldn't let it slip at all, because I know Nico was on it and wanted it just as much. Not as much as me, but almost as much.
Oh, you mentioned Nico. Let's talk about that, because the rivalry between you two has been so intense, hasn't it, this season?
Yeah.
How do you manage that? Because it did reach a crisis point, didn't it, at one stage? What happened?
It was very tough. It was very tough. You know, I mean, we've known each other since we were 13, so we have that history. And then coming into this season, it's been the most intense battle that I've had. And obviously, working together, you're sitting on the desk opposite sides of each other, and you're working with your groups of engineers, and every step you take, they follow, or vice versa. And so it's very hard to get an advantage. But there's lots of stuff that goes on, psychological warfare kind of, that goes on throughout the year. And obviously Spa was very, very hard to kind of take in when he got 18 points and I didn't finish. And the following days was what was really important, how I came back from that and just trained, got my head back into the game. Said I was going to, and I changed my approach for the next race in terms of what I did on the race weekend, and we won. So,
Looking back, you've had really quite a gap, haven't you, since your first championship, and those couple of years afterwards must have been really difficult for you. Do you think winning now, with that extra kind of element of maturity, gives you the faith to look ahead and think, actually, I can do it again and again?
Definitely. I mean, naturally, I've never ever thought that I can't do it. You know, every year you prepare in the same way. You think, you know, you always have that belief as a driver that you are the best and that you can achieve anything. But as I said, with the car and everything, but I mean, obviously with this team, we've achieved an incredible amount this year with a Constructors' Championship for the first time for Mercedes, and it has been 6 years. So I guess it's perhaps even, it's a greater feeling. If you do it back to back, as some have done in the past, perhaps it's not as special as it is. You know, this has been a long journey. It feels like the first time.
There are so many people who want to ask you questions, so what I'm going to do is I give you 4, you answer them really quickly so we can get through them. John, double point, should they stay?
No.
Okay. Robert, who inspired you to being a racing driver?
Ayrton Senna.
Okay. Antonella, how would you describe your 2014 season using 3 words?
That you can
You
broadcast
can
on
have one
television
word if you
Saturday.
want. You can have one word if you want.
Unreal.
Okay, that's good. Peter, are drivers ever frustrated by team control overruling them?
For sure.
There you go, brilliant.
Part of it. Someone else is saying, what kind of a driver are you when you're actually in a normal car on the road?
Well, I don't actually drive too often on the road. It's only when I'm at home. When I go back home, I actually ride a motorbike most of the time.
Ah.
Okay.
You ever been done for speeding?
On the car many years ago when I was younger.
Yeah.
I haven't for a long time.
But no, yeah.
So, and particularly when I'm here, if I go back and visit my family, I do drive up to go and visit my mum and my sister and that. But generally quite a slow driver. You wouldn't believe it, honestly.
And looking to the future, I noticed you tweeted this morning that you're really excited to be here in England. Will you one day move back, do you think?
I don't know. I think naturally every time I come back, I mean, I love it. Particularly, obviously, waking up this morning, seeing the frost in the morning. Where my parents live in the countryside, we've got the most beautiful countryside here. Yeah. But I think with the way I live at the moment, I'm traveling all the time, and when I get back and see the seaside, I love that. So I think for now, and I know I don't have a family now, so maybe
Last
you never.
question from Simon.
Really quickly, #1 driver next.
I've got #1, but I'll always be number 44.
God.
I want to keep number 44 on the car. That's my number since I started, so I want to keep that.
Brilliant. Lewis, great pleasure to have you with us. Congratulations once
Thank
again.
you so much.
So many
Lovely
people
to
very,
see
very
you.
proud of you. Thanks a lot.
And thank you for bringing in the car as well.
No.
Can we have a go with it later?
Nah.
Those are my favourite answers to the questions.